Hi everybody, Chris here, and welcome to this screencast on the Roxmore Math Team OneNote. So I thought I would take time out to create this screencast to help everyone navigate through the various sections of the OneNote so that you can refer to it and use it as efficiently as possible. So when you open up the OneNote, so perhaps you'll open it up on a classroom computer, perhaps it'll be on your Dell device, or maybe occasionally through your phone or an iPad. The first tab, or the main tab, is a welcome message, which gives you a couple of uses or reasons behind the use of the OneNote. This screencast will be linked to an area known as the Quickstart video, so if you need a quick reference you can go there. And I've also inserted a Quickstart guide. So the guide was addressed to both Cynthia and Anne-Marie to give them some background as to how to get started with the navigation for this OneNote. So beyond the welcome, you'll notice here in my pinned menu, we have last year's or year one of RMS. So any artifacts or resources have been archived there. The year two, so we're expanding upon that, and I'll go through the various sections with you so you have an idea as to what will and is there and how to use it. So here's year one. So there's a series of nested tabs, or it's a section group rather, and these were the tabs available to staff last year. Okay, notice the tab called Marker Students. This year they're now called Focus Students. And just a quick review here, under some of the resources, and I'll just mention the Kathy Fosno resources, are those that deal with number strings. Okay, so you'll notice here this back arrow. So if I click back, it takes me to the welcome page, and you'll notice the two main groups of tabs here. So if we click on year two, you'll notice that there are individual tabs or sections, and then within this part of the notebook there are three areas for each of the three cycles. So under the SIPSA tab, this portion here we will put in the original SIPSA, the one that we started with at the beginning of the year. And over here on the right hand side, as we move along, we'll put in the if-then so that you can quickly refer back to anchor yourself, and we can anchor ourselves to that if-then. And then as the SIPSAs are updated, what we'll do is we'll post kind of an ongoing copy of that here as we move throughout the course of the year. Next to that is the monitoring tab, and of course monitoring is essential to knowing if we're having an impact. So under this particular tab I've put in our teacher monitoring template for our focus students. I've also put in a little backgrounder, so it's a compilation of some research, so drawn from a lot of monographs and books as to what is meant by monitoring, what is meant as documentation, and how documentation can be seen and is seen as monitoring. I apologize for my dog barking in the background. As we move along, we will try to insert sort of the summaries or the completed monitoring forms that we assemble during the course of our learning team meetings. So we have that for ongoing reflection. Next to that is a Knowing Our Learners tab. So remember the mantra about knowing our curriculum, knowing our learners, and knowing the learning. So under Knowing Our Learners, what I've done is I've taken some RMS materials, and specifically I've included a tab known as Math Intervention Strategies. So under that, and you might see this at a future staff meeting, is we have a PowerPoint that takes you through examples of how to use these particular documents you'll find in here. So we have one that defines cognitive domains for students, and that'll come up. Some strategies for those different domains. So this one here is on how to help support students who might have growth to incur with their verbal comprehension. There are a series of templates here with samples for each of the learner profiles that we're utilizing this year, and there's a blank template for your use as well Of course, all of them here Word or PDFs, so you can copy, download, print, etc. Next to that, I thought it might be useful to have an engaging tasks menu or section, and if we can open this part up for collaboration, this might be a great way for us to take perhaps things that we've found, come up with, have tested or tried. Maybe there's specific things we've pulled from the RMS set of tasks that we've used or particularly fond of or found useful. And I've broken it down into a K-2 and a 3-6 section, so we can dump them in there and then people can have a look. I've started off by putting in one on spatial visualization. It's a task that fits certainly a broad range of grade levels. That's why they've been put into both. So I'd certainly encourage you to use those and certainly populate and share. Okay, because we might find that a task that has been used in one division might be usable in another one if we're looking a grade back and a grade forward and considering the different learning needs for our students. Also within this section is an observation template, so it is sort of a broken down version of maybe one we've used, actually one we used at our learning team meeting. So it's another way for us to get into utilizing technology and or an organizer for engaging ourselves and our students in the assessment loop. So those are the general resources, and we'll add as we develop and come across more. Under cycle 1, so within here, I've broken them out by meeting number and date. And within each section here, and also notice to get back, just arrow back, click in. Under cycle 1, so when we began on September 25th, I've included the PowerPoint slide deck, the norms for our group work, the vision of the math learner. Okay, if you remember that one there, pedagogical system. And under the pedagogical system, I've also included, there are some materials down here, some descriptions of the 4 bubbles above. Under the vision, I believe there's also, I want to say there's a document somewhere within here, or that comes up later. It might be under here. The assessment loop, although we covered this in meeting 3, I've thrown it in here because I do think that it does match up. Here's the pedagogical system, and here's the vision for our math learners. There might be some intersections in there and some theories or ideologies that might be worth our discussion as we move forward this year. So that's meeting 1. Meeting 2, that was the notion of engaging tasks. So again, the PowerPoint slide deck is there. The listing of suggested websites, okay, for looking for other engaging tasks. And I've also included a monograph that we didn't have a chance to dig into, but it might be something for your own independent study. It's called Making Space for Students to Think Mathematically. So I think that will cause certainly some affirmations, some questions or wonderings for you, and those are things that I would be more than happy to discuss with you. Under meeting 3, our most current one, again the PowerPoint slide deck is there, the assessment loop, our planner, recall our planner here in terms of mapping out our task, so choosing a task, anticipating the goals and the success criteria, getting ready to monitor in the classroom. Growing in success, here's that little snippet on assessment, so the different parts of that assessment loop or assessment framework, from goals, criteria, to eliciting thinking and info about student learning, descriptive feedback, so those are there, and the notes template that we utilized in creating our own notes from the reading. Okay, so I'll take you back to the main page, just arrowing back, and here we are once again, going up to the Quickstart video page, and it's within this section here. I will link the video, and you'll receive that by email notification as well. And moving forward, if you have any questions about the organization or where materials are found within this particular OneNote, by all means, please consult with myself or Cynthia or Anne-Marie, and we'll certainly help you to find what you need. Okay, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.